capacity of the dark, I can only liken it to describing it to the capacity of the galaxy, the capacity of the universe. It's limitless. It's almost intangible. There are portals of light within the darkness. There's permission to go within. I often liken what's on the inside to what's on the outside, so there's a reflection of that inner perceived darkness, which is often a place that there's a lot of fear around visiting. So there's permission, being in the dark, to visit those internal darker places and to discover the light. Because even though it was really dark, not a tiny, tiny smidgen of light, there was light moving around and that I was aware of, but on a different level from the light that we usually think of. It was an amazing experience. I've experienced profound peace and such a deep sense of restfulness, like I didn't know was possible. And in the early days, I was aware that my mind was trying to come in and say, don't forget about me. But slowly, that space was taken up by the rest, the quiet, the dark, the capacity of the dark. I always say darkness is absence of light, but actually it contains so much. It's so full and so potent. And my mind now, it's not even in the back seat, it's in its little caravan making pancakes. It's quite happy, just not being engaged, just there if I need it. But I'm so much more in my heart. My heart feels a lot clearer. My psyche is a lot clearer. I have no choice but to be in this present moment. And I feel like I've cleared the pain from so many wounds that I wasn't even conscious of. And there's something internal that feels incredibly clean and clear and full of light. Almost like a phoenix out of the ashes. And so I'm really grateful for all those experiences, all the horrible experiences, because they're part of what have brought me to this place. And I have more capacity to lean into the uncomfortableness of what may arise. I've learned a lot. I feel much more deeply connected with my breath, and what a tool that is, what a powerful tool it is. I feel like I've cleared a lot of old, stagnant, toxic energy that has been weighing me down without me even realising. So I feel a sense of lightness and liberation from that. And I knew that I needed to be here. And I have a sense that there's life before this darkness retreat, and very subtly and powerfully there'll be life after it. And I'm really open to experience that in however it shows up. I've spent a lot of time lying down. I lie down to sleep. I'm generally vertical a lot of the time. But fortunately, the bed is incredibly comfortable. I've taken great pleasure lying in that bed and on that bed, feeling very safe, and all my needs have been met. My needs, I think, are quite few. And I feel that I've experienced a very, very strongly held container, and a strong container that it has a tenderness and a care and a love within it as well. So really balanced, so even less for the mind to have to chatter on about. I feel like I've been cared for physically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, I have a sense of the roots of what is being created here, what has been created here, running really deeply and very wide. I feel like I've given myself such a precious gift, and this space, this opportunity that it exists, is a gift in itself. I feel more open. I feel even more in my heart, more heart-centered. I feel courageous, and I almost feel unstoppable. I have an inner sense of freedom, another layer of inner freedom. And I'm still a bit on Bambi legs with it. So I'm going to take my time and go slowly. And yeah, take that courage. I really take that courage out into the world, out into my life. It's a blessing. about the years of therapy in a week.
You haven't said
that. Can I say that?
Yes. Please, would you mind letting me just do them in?
Yes. So.
Come here.
Yeah. So something that came to me during the week was that this experience is like having years of really good therapy in a week. It goes that deep. One thing that I feel like I've reconnected with is my creativity, which wasn't something that I was seeking, but something's really arisen that I have a calling to make, which is a surprise. Is it very inspiring? So I will follow that. I'll take that with me and see what happens. The first time I was in the bath doing the breath work, I was taken back to a very violent time in my life, and I felt physically in that moment, and I was able to respond in a way that I wasn't able to respond to at the time. It was so strong and very deeply healing and very uncomfortable. Part of this breathwork technique is about breathing into the uncomfortable places without letting them take over, but really breathing into them and trusting the breath and the body. And continuing on from that, there's been other similarly violent moments in my life, and my conscious mind was thinking, have I already got to revisit all of those? However, whilst I was in the bath, I had the capacity to stop them before they actually happened and respond in a way that really was from a boundaried place, and to be able to say no. A very clear no. There's been a lot of time to integrate the breathwork sessions and what's come up through them, which has been really important. I felt a lot of space during the week. There hasn't been a hastiness to get things done and move on to the next thing. There's been a lot of space around, which I really value. Because one of the things that I'm really taking away from this experience is to take my space and take my time and go at my pace and not be rushed by someone else's agenda. And I can relate that to my actual birth itself. I wasn't ready to come out. So there was, in the bath, I experienced real resistance, which then connected to other times in my life where I've felt pressured by someone else's agenda and not been ready. I had a couple of womb experiences. One was being a very small fetus in a lot of space. And the other was really significant during one of the bath sessions, and taking my time and not being ready and waiting. I was able to wait until I was ready. And what came up for me was the fear of someone else's stress and impatience around me actually exiting this really safe space. And I held back. I took my space and I held back. And in my mind, I could see a whole portal. And there were lots of little claw-like things kept coming in and poking around and then disappearing. And then when I was ready, I knew that was the way I was going, and I physically curled over even more than I was, so my head was as down as it could be in the water. And after a couple of attempts, there were a couple of attempts where I was like, okay, I'm doing it. I was ready. And I kept breathing. And then next time, this is the way that I'm going. I know the way that I'm going. There's only one way to go. And then the next time I got closer and I was